And a warm welcome today to Conny Dekoriert. And it's great to have you here with us because we actually wanted to do the house entrance, but then we somehow said that I wasn't feeling well. That wasn't possible. And then we came up with this decoration idea today, namely a cake stand, a bowl, or rather a soup plate, and 2 little pitchers that we received as gifts. And this is our homemade floral creation. I would call it a tiered stand. And dear friends, if you want to know how this works, stay tuned because we're going to show you now. And the things we need today, we have them here. Here we've already got quite a few things ready. I've got some bulb flowers here, snowdrops, crocuses, and tulips, specifically these tulips. There's a red blossom coming up, and then back here I have the moss again, a bit more cushion moss, and the regular sheet moss here in the middle. Yes, this is a cake stand. I've had it for a very long time, actually a pretty old piece. And I actually found a deep plate to match it, so I really only have these 2 items left. And a friend of mine moved, cleared out her stuff and said, Connie, see if you can do something with these. I think these 2 little jugs are really beautiful. They're made of enamel. And as I said, my friend moved. She really sorted things out and just put everything in my garage for me. Thank you again for that. And the 2 of them were in there. Isn't our color normally red here? But I think maybe combined with white and natural tones, that could also fit in really well with our place. Or Micha. Me too. So we'll just make it work. And I'm very curious myself because here's the little bunny. This is a little pot hanger, the egg, and again, the white feathers. I think that fits. Then I took the remaining birch twigs we had, a few pussy willows, and actually a colleague. Thank you so much. She was so sweet and gave me pussy willow branches, just like these willow branches too. And I removed the lower ones because I would really like to incorporate them. Then I still have a bit of the corkscrew hazel left here. And yes, I think that's it. So let's get started. And I'll start with the cake stand and the first little jug, which is a bit bigger. And I think it's super pretty because it has that vintage look. And I also think this rusty chain here is really beautiful. And since I'm always very unconcerned about it, with the hot glue, and since it really doesn't damage anything, I'm just going to use a bit of hot glue on this little jug now. Down here, I'll put a bit on and fix it to the cake stand where I want it to stand. And I think, yes, that will fit perfectly later on. When you want to remove the decorations, you just need to run a bit of warm water over it. And then the glue basically comes off on its own. We want to make a tiered stand. That means you can use any jug you have. So it doesn't have to be enamel. It can also be wonderful ceramic or glass or whatever. It doesn't matter at all. Here, I would now like to fix this plate on top. And as you can see, these connecting or joint pieces are of course higher here. That means I want to fill this in now so that I get a bit of height here and can secure the plate. And I'm going to do that now with some old paper. Very practical. It's already crumpled. I actually took it out of the wooden bowl here because we just took down the Christmas decorations. And here are also all the natural moss things with willow. That doesn't matter. I fold it and crumple it up and just put it in here for now. And now I have the paper here a little really nicely stuffed so that it comes up to the top. And now I'm going to open the hot glue again. But of course, you can also use a piece of cardboard. Just lay it across here, or even felt fabric. And then fix the 2 things together here. And now I'm pressing the plate on nicely. Let it dry. Everything is fixed together. Looks totally cute. I've already placed the teapot on top here. And since it's still a bit wobbly, it's not completely secure yet. I'm going to use some filling material again here and just put a bit in here, right? Stick a bit more in between. If you have a small one like this, yes, we'll show that now. I'm just going to tuck this in nicely here and fill in the gap again. And it fits perfectly. A bit of crumbs and stuff, but that's no problem. But look, let me show you. Now it's really super stable. So as I said, this is also a table decoration. You don't want to move it around too much. But now there's more stability here because we filled it at the bottom if you don't like it that way. With moss, just use a bit of cardboard, then it's also super stable. And then of course that works too. So I'm going to place the second pot up here as well. Look, we're making a really cute little tiered stand out of it. And I'll also secure that one at the bottom now. Here again, apply plenty of hot glue. I've noticed that with this enamel, you really need to use a bit more and let it dry nicely. And then it will hold as well. And I'll also fix that one up here on the plate now. I'm just going to take these little birch twigs in my hand and twist them together here. Just twist them in a little bit like this. Most of the time that already holds really well. It's always better if you have more. I don't have that many left. So I'm just going to use a bit of wire to help so it doesn't spring apart. And I'll secure it here in 2 or 3 spots. Now I've just wrapped it around the birch twigs, I'd say about 5 or 6 times. Look, now I basically have a nice little circle or wreath here. And now I'm going to secure it here with the wire. And the little leftovers I still have, I'll also add them into the circle here. Here, I just go around a few times, twist it together, and that holds wonderfully too. This is actually the moss, which you can also use, and I find it really cute, especially here with this plate, because it's actually a soup plate. And here, even if you don't secure it, you could just add some water and a few blossoms. I also think that's really beautiful in the summer. Then you can also just add some fresh flowers up here. And down here, you could also play around a bit with the small test tubes and moss. And you can keep decorating it again and again with fresh flowers. And of course, that also looks wonderful. But for now, I'm going to take the moss and cover the top all the way around. You don't have to do that. You can also just put some hay in there. Yes, just some completely natural materials or whatever you have on hand. Then we take our little homemade wreath and carefully place it. Look, it's really like a little nest. And yes, it's a pre-Easter or even an Easter decoration. And since I still have a bit of cushion moss here, I'm going to add some as well. Of course, you don't have to do that. I'm going to do it, but it's not enough, so I'll just add a bit of variety here with the other moss. And yes, I'm going to fill this area down here completely again. Everything filled in really nicely. And now I'm taking my little pussy willow branches. Look how beautiful they are. They're so pretty. And now I'm just going to stick them into the moss here and there. I think we'll continue with the height, and I'm going to use the top little jug for that. The moss is quite good, but the really dry moss, the stuff that's not so nice anymore, I'm actually going to use that as material for height and just stick it into the little jug here first. You can also use soil now or whatever you have as filling material, and I'm just going to do this very loosely. You could also poke into the moss a bit here with a toothpick. But since I always take my bulbs out every few days and put them in water again, I always try to do it without so I can get them out of the decoration more easily. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to put the red tulips in here. They hold wonderfully here too. Just stick them right into the little nest. See, it's perfect. And when they bloom later and the red comes out at the top, it will look very harmonious. With these little red touches here, and of course the snowdrops also add some height. And they also have that white, which of course fits perfectly, right here with the cake stand and the plate. And I'll also very carefully place them into the decoration now. And to give us some really nice variety, I've placed white crocuses in the front here. And here as a third bulb, I'll also put another crocus into the little jug. And down here I'll add the small crocuses as well. You can also place them at a slight angle. That's always wonderful. And that's what I'm going to do here now. Just a small change of plans. So we've left out the white ones. And we have the quail eggs. And I've chosen these natural brown colored ones. Feel free to take a look down here on our website. Yes, that's right. And there's the link, because at Hof Wilkers we also have them available in packages. They really are wonderful. And of course, they also match the tone of the flower bulbs here. So I'm going to fix a few eggs at the top and bottom first. Then I also always find the broken ones very beautiful, even the little pieces. When you have lots of small pieces, it always looks really lovely. If you just add them here into the nest as well. That gives it all the liveliness and naturalness. Just break a few pieces. Look here. With the little white shell, it also looks really nice. And I brought that with me today, actually from Hof Elkers. We have 3 different tones. I'll just say more of a brown natural tone. I think it fits perfectly today. With these little eggs and these onions, then we have even more of this light cream and beige tones. And this one is almost a bit more on the grayish side. But now I'm going to open up these brownish feathers here and just decorate a few small feathers in there. What I totally forgot is the lid from the one pot. Look how beautiful that is. And now I'm just going to put a bit of moss in there as well. And I just took the crocus bulb away from here and placed it in here like this. Look, you can also add a bit of eggshell in there. And now I'm just going to find a spot here and place it in there as well. And for that, I definitely... Now I have to use hot glue. It won't hold otherwise. I'm just going to glue it onto the moss here. Look, that's nice, isn't it? It kind of reminds me a bit of when you've actually seen some trash somewhere, even in the forest or some old can or something, and how nature really reclaims it and just grows over it. And I think that's really beautiful, and somehow it just fits, in my opinion. And we hope you like it too, exactly. Our floral tiered stand with lots of early bloomers and already a bit of egg and feathers. And we're already looking forward to Easter, and dear ones, if we were able to inspire and fascinate you today, then of course we would really appreciate a thumbs up. Or me, yes, in
this specific case.
Exactly. And thank you again for the get well wishes for Micha and also for me with my finger. It's healed up really well. So thank you so, so much. It really blew us away. And dear ones, in the next few days, we want to decorate with and for you again. I'll say, see you soon, yours, Conny, and
Yours, Micha, your cameraman.
exactly, feel hugged. See you then.